Hey guys, Czar here. Hope all is well. Trust you're having a good day. Out of the twilight zone now. It's 1:28 p.m. We're about 2 minutes away from the next 30-minute candle. We've had a very messy day in here today. Really range bound. We finally had a little bit of a break here on a candle higher on the NASDAQ, but given that we've been moving up here all morning, almost unabated, certainly not interested in any longs here on the NASDAQ. Something similar on the S&P, again, grinding higher here. I'd be looking for anything. If I'm looking for anything, it will likely be a break below the bracketed twilight zone, which I often do here on messy days, is bracket the twilight zone and potentially wait for a breakdown. But I don't love these wicks here either. So it's just one of these consolidation style days that is leaves you just kind of scratching your head and sitting on the sidelines. Here again, messy. Ranging twilight zone, bracket at the bottom, bracket at the top. Of course, that zone was already there from back here. Just shifted it up a little bit to accommodate those bodies that you see right there here in the New York session. So I'll be waiting for this to form. In 55 seconds, we'll get a new candle stuck in the middle here. Nothing for me to do, no setups. As most of you know, certainly if you've been here for a while, I'm always looking for, at minimum, a 30-minute reason to enter. And as you can see, there are no 30-minute reasons here to do anything whatsoever. Here's the S&P. You were just looking at the Dow. And now the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ probably has the cleanest, if I had to pick one, price action, but going in a direction that I would have no interest in, especially given the fact that we are at 2.5 standard deviations here on the upside, and so certainly not interested in a long position here this afternoon, unless we get some really interesting setup, some structural setups here that would make sense. I can't envision what that would be, and so it's highly unlikely. If anything, I'd be looking for a potential short. We'll see. New candle has begun here, guys. I'll put you on pause. We'll cut out dead air, sideways grinding action, non-teaching moments. Keep this video nice and tight. I'll be right back. All right, we're back here, guys. The NASDAQ now breaking highs on a new 30-minute candle. Tempting. Given the clean traffic zone that we have going on here. Yeah, guys, buy stop right above this current candle. This candle needs to break itself. That's all right there. Give me one moment. Just going to my own platform here. Stop below prior 30-minute candle. And I'm in, guys, and I'm in right there. Let me just get these markers set up. Right there. And so the primary target, as always, is 1R. Finally got a trade here today, guys. This is a continuation move. It feels extended, but this was the clincher. Is after the twilight zone. This is the 1 o'clock candle. The pop up and then pulling down. That on a lower time frame, of course, is a form of a retracement. There it is right there, the pullback. And so that gives us the structure to be able to move into a long position, even though we've had a fairly significant move here today. It's all about the time of day. It's 2:04 p.m. I'll put you on pause, guys, bring you back as this thing develops, and we'll take it from there. And target 1 has been hit, so the 1R all-or-nothing trader has left the game with full profitability. And of course, the 2R move stop to break even at 1R has moved their stop to break even because we hit 1R. So they will either get a break even or a 2R, nothing in between. Hence, it's 2R all or nothing. The 1.5R and 2R all-or-nothing trader will sit here and wait to see what happens from here. This, guys, is a trend continuation and a zone break trade. Haven't done a zone break trade for quite a while, so it might look a little different to some of you who have only joined either my Telegram group or the YouTube channel lately. I'll explain it to you very quickly here. Zone break trade, we need a clean break and close in a fresh traffic zone or a clean traffic zone. You'll see this clean traffic over here. Let me get rid of the EMA pair so we can take a closer look at it. There we go. So we're looking for a break and close into a fresh traffic zone. Well, we had that here, but it didn't count because it was during the twilight zone. It was a 12:30 candle. That's dead center of the lunch hour. And so I pretty much ignore, for the most part, especially on messy days like this, anything that happens before 1 o'clock. The 1 o'clock candle closed back below, or basically back into that range. See that wick right there? And did not continue higher. It did for a while, but closed back down there. I need a close that counts. So this next candle, which was the 1:30 candle, this is the one which moved up and then closed in the fresh traffic zone. There was still this little wick here to contend with, and so what I did was wait for this pullback here. See this down here on the 2-minute chart, and then a break above, and that's why I entered when I did, which was breaking the prior candle's high and essentially also breaking the high that was on that wick. Basically was at that high, which is good enough for me given the 2 o'clock candle with the kind of volume that comes in. Anywhere between 1 and 2:15, 2:30 or so, quiets down a bit again, and then at 3 o'clock in power hour we get the volume again. That's a pattern we see just about every day. Not every day, but pretty much every day. And the trend continuation, of course, is the bullish configuration on the 30-minute chart. Bullish, breaking the yesterday's high, of course, on the daily chart. A resurgence from impulse corrective to impulse. So bullish daily, messy bullish 30, but the zone break into the clean traffic zone was very important here. And then given that we did have this pull back here, I was willing to take what appears to be an extended move into the afternoon session after the twilight zone. Hope that makes sense. I'll be back to see how this thing plays out from here. And target 2 has been hit, so the 1.5 hour all or nothing trader has left the game with full profitability. And now we have the 2 hour all or nothing trader waiting to see if we can hit that final target. Again, guys, this is a trend continuation trade, but also a zone break. The key zone breaking candle being the one after the twilight zone, this one here, then the pullback, and then breaking above into the clean traffic zone. The continuation function, of course, is impulse, resting during and pulling back, resting during the twilight zone, and then continuing higher. There was this glitch here. Now, interestingly enough, I was just talking to one of the members of my group who took the break above here for a zone break trade. Nothing wrong with that, by the way, guys. And unfortunately, he was stopped out right here with that little pullback. So he placed his stop just under here, probably fairly tightly, and unfortunately and unluckily was tagged out here before prices resumed and went higher as desired and as expected. But that's one of the reasons why I often wait for the stuff that's important, the significant stuff, to happen outside of that dead zone, that twilight zone. As some of you know, I will sometimes, and it's quite occasionally, I will trade during the twilight zone, and that's if the setups are especially compelling, if volume appears to be continuing all the way through lunch, which it sometimes does, or if there's been an extremely large and clean move into the twilight zone. Very often a reversal will begin early, just by gravity, really, when the German and the London exchanges have closed. We see that quite often on the big moves, I mean, which don't happen that often going into the twilight zone. Hope that helps. I'll come back in a few minutes and see how we do here. All right, guys, we're back, and as you can see, we've been selling off here quite a lot since we almost hit 2R. We got about 1.8R, and then pulled all the way back. That's the second trade in a row, actually, that we were able to easily hit the primary target of 1R, and then relatively easy hit 1.5R, but then not be able to get the 2R. That's the nature of being in this VIX environment where we're under 13, 12.8 as we stand right now, 12.77. See that right there? That's the VIX number. And so that's, part of the game, but we were in this clean traffic zone. I had a really good run at it. Now, my model states, the rules of my model, my 4 models, state that in the last 15 minutes, right near the end of the day, which we're in now, it's 3:47 right now, almost, I am able to close out manually, or I must close out manually at a price that I think is fair. And so I'm looking here, guys, I'm looking to close at, I'm going to set an order to close the last model at exactly break even right here. So if we pounce up to there, we punch up, I'll get out of break even and we'll end it right there, guys. Done. You see that there? Break even, and that closes all 4 open models. Now there aren't 4 open. I'll show you what this looks like in practice. Break even, break even. Give me one moment to put you on pause for a second. There it is, guys. And so the 1R all or nothing trader made 1R. The 1.5R all or nothing made 1.5R. The 2R all or nothing made break even. That's the one we just closed right now. And the 2R moves stop to break even was stopped out back here at break even. And so none of the models lost money on this, even though we're heading down to the original stop now. And 2 of the models made full profits. Thank you for being with me here today, guys. Have an amazing evening. I appreciate you and your ongoing support, your friendship, and your kindness to me. I do appreciate you. Have an amazing night. We'll talk to you soon.